I done got my yelling and screaming out the way. Uh, I had to spend 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes, yelling and screaming about ESPN. And they gonna come up again. But I want to discuss the camera. Camera. Lock in camera. Okay. So I wanted to discuss the MVP race. So it's you got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen, you got Saquon, and yes, you do have Joe Burrow. I don't care what his record is. Because if they didn't have Joe Burrow, they would have less wins than that. So than the 8 that they do have. So if your logic is, well, this was his record, his team's record, please shut up. Because team record is not a reflection of a player in the NFL. That's not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So this is one of the more entertaining MVP races in the last couple of years. Uh, so I want to give a quick stat breakdown. Because the main two are Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And Josh Allen had what? He has a little over 3,700 passing yards with. I'm sorry, I lost that page. I lost that page. Hold on. He has what? A little over 3,700 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, the 6 interceptions. With what 531 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground, which is insane. Um, and then Lamar Jackson has a 68% completion percentage, 4,100 yards through the air, 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He just broke a record for or is in the history books for most touchdowns or 40 touchdowns with 4 or less interceptions, something crazy like that. 915 rushing yards and 4 TDs on the ground, and he broke Michael Vick's QB rushing record, which is very big for someone like me because I grew up a Michael Vick fan, and seeing somebody break that record, especially with how young he is and how fast he did it, is crazy. Now, those two are your heavyweights. Those are the two that are going back and forth the most. But the first point I want to make is the MVP in sports now is chosen based on the best story. So I don't believe it's chosen based on, you know, actual value to the team. Like I give an example. Derrick Rose won the MVP, his first and only MVP in 2011 over LeBron, despite LeBron James having literally better stats across the board. Steve Nash won 2 back-to-back MVPs in a year. In the 2 years, Kobe Bryant averaged 30 points a game. So it's more so about the story that you tell, and I hate to say it, your team's record, which is not a good indication of value. Um, Another example in 2020, Aaron Rodgers won MVP over Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, despite both of those guys having more passing and rushing yards. Now, Aaron Rodgers did have 48 touchdowns, which is crazy, and his is the team going 13-3 and him having the first seed. I know that helped him out plenty, but you know. I'm trying to get my point across. It's more about the story that you tell. Now, I really hope these two teams meet in the playoffs because that'll be epic. Uh, and I hope that will solidify the MVP debate. There's no more discussion. We really see who brings that value because I believe Baltimore will have to go to Buffalo. Baltimore will have to go to Buffalo because they're the 3 seed. So I hope all of the top seeds win in the AFC, so there's no excuses. Mahomes got to play the Texans or maybe the Chargers. The Texans or the Chargers, and then the Bills and the Ravens face off in the divisional round. That would be a great divisional matchup right there. Now, both of these team defenses suck throughout the year, so they've had to do more. Both of these guys have had to do way more to keep their teams in games. Now, Baltimore's defense has been playing much better since they came out of the bye, but up until that bye week, they sucked. They were horrible. Their pass defense was horrible. They had a great run defense. I believe it was second in rush defense, but their pass defense was 30 or 31st. They were really bad. And Brandon Stevens, I don't know what's his problem. The Browns were targeting Brandon Stevens. They didn't look, Bailey Zappi didn't look to the right side of the field. He kept looking at the left side of the field at Brandon Stevens, and he was just getting targeted the whole second half. So, but I want to put some context to these games real quick. So the Bills having so for Josh Allen, I believe 2 games really helped him as far as the MVP debate. Excuse me, I keep messing with my jacket. I'm sorry. He had 2 games that really helped him out with his MVP case. The game versus the Rams where they put up 40 and still lost, and then the game versus the Lions where he had 4 touchdowns, 362 in the air, um, and they won that one versus the Lions, which is another 40-point, 80-point game between the two teams. Um, but he did put up a stinker versus the Patriots. And uh, CBS was it was tripping. So Josh Allen do an interception versus the Patriots. NFL on CBS they said Josh Allen pins the Patriots inside the one with an arm punt. What? What? Ain't nobody. What? It's not a good look, CBS. It's not a good look at all. And they did it again. So, hold on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I sound horrible. It's cold. It's 30 degrees outside. I'm sorry. But and so in the highlights, not the highlights, at towards the end of the game, they did it again. So in their graphic of Josh Allen, that include like all the team stats. I'm assuming this is at the end of the game. They don't have his interception on there. Like, why would you not? You put Drake May's interception on there. Why didn't you put Josh Allen's interception on there? Like, this is this. And people had issues with this. Like, people really did not like seeing that because it's like, why would you do that? Why would you leave that off? Like, put the whole thing on there. I want every player to be held to the same standard. Um. So, and then there's this video. I didn't even watch the video all the way through. I knew I was gonna get mad. It's first take again. Bad takes, man. I'm gonna play a little bit so you can hear what I'm talking about.
That Josh Allen's MVP would be like Charles Barkley's MVP.
Okay.
Really? Yeah, because I think right now what happens with people like Patrick Mahomes, with people like Lamar Jackson, is we get fatigued, and I think the voters get fatigued, and what happens is the MVP becomes a narrative-driven award, right?
So I do agree with that point about it becoming a narrative-driven report, and I can respect some of Ryan Clark's opinions because he played in the NFL. He has a great point because this is the same case with Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. Oh, that's my notes. That's my notes. With Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, they actually got that one incorrect. They got 2 back-to-back MVPs incorrect. So Jokic was supposed to win 2 years ago. No, I don't know. They got him wrong. And it turns into a narrative, and he makes a good point. But the person who responded to that tweet saying Josh Allen winning his first MVP, and it was based off sympathy. That, I mean, from what I've seen, Josh Allen doesn't have better stats. The only thing he has on Lamar Jackson is a better record. So people can make that case. I don't agree. I don't really care who wins MVP. But you know, so you know that's that. It's what people make of it. And then Lamar put on a great performance versus the Texans. He counted for 255, 3 touchdowns. He didn't have a whole lot of passing yards, but that game was a blowout. The Texans stink, and he reached a jogging speed of 21 miles an hour, which is crazy. Like that's insane. So, this I remember. So I'd be clicking links. I have links in my notes, and you know, I realizing I forgot.
The other guy should win.
So this is
doesn't really dig into.
This is from at right tackle Spencer Brown, he plays for the Bills, and he's speaking on the MVP debate. Because I want to hold on. I gotta because the reason why I have this video. Boy, I thought my microphone was not picking up my audio. I was finna be sick as all get out. But we good. We live. Okay. My point I was trying to make. Spencer Brown was talking about the MVP debate. He's a right tackle for the Bills. Let me play the video so you can understand my context.
Doesn't really dig in too deep, I'd say. I just feel bad for a guy that's just done everything right, and he's his 4th consecutive year putting up 40-plus touchdowns, and everyone's going to say that statistically the other guy should win, and if you rewind back to last year, Josh had every statistic, and he still won, so I think it's all just, it's pushed by the media, so and people believe the media. But, I just think that we were counted out a lot, and then, everybody left, and we didn't have anybody. We weren't supposed to win the division. We weren't supposed to make the playoffs. Now you're sitting here talking about the 2 seed, and there's just a lot that goes into it, and I just feel bad for Josh and what he has to deal with, but he's got a head on his shoulders and doesn't really affect him too much. But me blocking for the guy, I can probably say a little more than he can.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that make...
Okay, so I played that. I put this in there for a reason. Josh Allen was 5th in MVP voting last year. So this person said he should have been 6th behind Tyreek. So, I don't understand the point he was trying to make there. Like, he's talking about the media. Hell, Dak Prescott was 2nd. And he got punched in the mouth for screaming. So I didn't understand the point he was trying to make there. Brock Purdy was about to win the MVP had he not dropped a stinker on Christmas Day versus the Ravens. And then that probably flipped Lamar and Brock Purdy. I don't understand the point that Spencer Brown is trying to make. I really don't. I don't know what he's trying to say. So I hope he get the result that he wants. I don't have a pick in this. Now, my dark horse, 2 dark horses actually. That man Saquon Barkley. Now I'm an Eagles fan. Now I have to say this. I'm superstitious. I do not want the MVP, the Madden cover. I don't want that anywhere near Philadelphia. Get that out of here. For those who know, or those who don't know, usually if a player wins the MVP and they're playing in the Super Bowl, they usually don't win the Super Bowl. So outside of Patrick Mahomes, because we know how that works. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, since the year 2000, hell, even in the year 2000, there was a co-MVP. One of the MVPs lost. So I don't want the Super Bowl. I don't want the MVP near my team. Get out of here with that nonsense. That is crazy. But Saquon Barkley, 2,000 rushing yards. And people was upset. Hold on. Let me go through his stats. He had 2,000 rushing yards. I believe he had 11 games over 100. 4 games over 150. He had 255 versus the Broncos. Not the Broncos, the Rams. It was amazing to watch. So he put on a show. And people were mad that he didn't go for the record, the Eric Dickerson record. This is how I know people don't pay attention to football. The Philadelphia Eagles haven't had a bye week since September. We're in January. They needed a break. Give a damn about the record. The only record that matters is winning the Super Bowl. People are like, oh man, the only record we remember is shut up, shut your mouth. Because if Saquon gets a ring, I want the ring bad. We're going to completely forget about the rushing record. He has 2,000 yards. He's one of 9 people or 10 people, whatever, to get 2,000 rushing yards. That's enough in itself. The team, because that means you mean to tell me that he was supposed to break the record against the team that he left because they didn't offer him a contract, and you going to think that the Giants was going to let him get 100 rushing yards? That's not happening. We can say they're the worst rush defense in the league. The Eagles didn't have that many rushing yards on Sunday anyway, so I don't understand the point. You tell like the starters would have had to play. My old lineman need a break. Lane Johnson did not need to be on that field. Mailata didn't need to be on the field. Dickerson, Jurgens, they did not need to be on the field. None of them guys needed to be on the field. The only person that needed to be on the field as a starter was Dallas Goedert, and that's because he hasn't played. And he played the first half, and he was out after that. So if you one of those people, man, shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And then my second dark horse, Joe Burrow. Now, Joey B is my favorite player in the league. I've been saying this since he got to the league. That's my man right there. Joey B is that dude. He had almost 5,000 passing yards, 49-18, 43 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He finished 3rd in QBR. His wide receiver, Jamar Chase, won the Triple Crown. Like, that's crazy. And so the team finished, how many wins did they end the year off with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They ended the year with 5 straight wins. Now they had lost 3 straight, but in those games, Joe Burrow's offense has put up 38 versus Pittsburgh, 27 versus the Chargers, 34 versus the Baltimore Ravens with that failed 2-point conversion. So, really, like, had they not played bad versus New England, they would have won. They would probably be in the playoffs. New England, you turn it around. Don't give up a game with a touchdown to Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels is that dude. Bad call versus Kansas City to end the year. The kicker missing a field goal versus the Ravens the first time in October. They just got punched in the mouth versus my Eagles, so that wasn't going to happen. And so 1-point loss, 7-point loss, 6-point loss, where the defense gave up 44 points versus to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they then played again and only had 17. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not been the same since that game in December. But I digress. Joey B is that dude, man. Joey B, that's my man right there. Shout out to Joey B. I know he's sick as hell right now that he's not in the playoffs. I want him to be in the playoffs because he deserves it. I like to have a team in each conference. And the Cincinnati Bengals only because of Joe Burrow is my team. So, it's sad to see. But I hate that he's not in the playoffs. But those are my 4 picks for, MVPs. Those are the 2 dark horses of Saquon and Joe Burrow. Now, those 2 probably are most likely not going to win it. Because Josh Allen currently has the betting odds. He's minus something, and then Lamar is plus already. But this is very interesting. I want to see how the votes play out too, and I'm gonna make a response. I'm probably gonna make a response to that. I want to see how the votes play out, and then how the rest of these playoffs play out. Because today is Wednesday, so we got 3 days of football: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we'll know where everybody stands there. But that is my MVP discussion. I like talking about the MVP. I can just pull up stats, provide some context. I'm glad I'm able to do that. Oh, one more thing. The best moments for each player. I don't think Joe Burrow had a best moment because all of his moments was fire. Oh, never mind. I do. He made that throw when he was falling down to the ground versus the Browns. He was damn near on his knees and he threw a touchdown. That's his moment. Saquon Barkley jumping backwards. I don't know how the hell you do that. He really jumped. That was crazy. And Josh Allen had that catch. He threw it to Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper tossed it back to him. And I didn't see it. I was watching the game, but I didn't see the play live. Chris Collinsworth was just, oh, my God. Like, he was losing his mind. And I looked down, and I see the play. I'm like, oh, you wild for that. And then Lamar Jackson's jogging touchdown. Those are the players' best moments. So the MVP race should be fun. You'll see from me again when it's time when they announce those winners.